Attention, everybody. The views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and nonprofits, and some of this content may be adult in nature, so please use discretion while watching with children. That music is a little foggy sounding. I just have to turn up.
No, I had to turn down the EQ.
Good morning! Coming to you live from Acts Media Group headquarters here in beautiful Springfield, Missouri. It's the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay, with your hosts Matt and Jay. Yay! Steve Mickey Mactastic is not with us today. Be praying for him. He fell this morning. So, as of right now, he's okay. Just probably a little sore and bumped and bruised up. So. My heart to you. You have closed the door. Who I was before, and I see for the first time all I'm meant to be. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
We're glad to have everybody on board with us today. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's going to be like 66 degrees today, something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to ride my motorcycle today.
I was wondering. I'm surprised you didn't ride it this morning.
Oh, no. Too cold.
Too cold.
And, well, it takes too much to get ready to ride it and too much to get unready.
Yeah, because you are spending like 10 minutes just putting on riding gear.
Well, it's not that much in this weather because I just have to put on some insulated pants. My coat does a good job.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I wanted to ride it yesterday, but there was still too much ice yesterday.
First things first, love and share this video.
Oh, yeah.
Both this and our YouTube video. That's what I've been doing. Worked good. Works good. Ben Wagner has been watching on our YouTube channel a lot. He's the one who set up hooligives.com.
Thank you, Ben
That's
Wagner.
how you can support us without it costing you anything, except for the stuff that you're going to buy normally. Go to hooligives.com, and the promo code is 2021, and you pick Acts Media Group as the nonprofit, and a portion of those profits go to Acts Media Group.
Yeah.
So it's a way to give.
Have they been getting anything? I know people have been using it.
I'm sure they have. They just haven't really. He hasn't put that out there to the board members yet. So,
Should I have not said anything?
No, you're good.
Remember, we love you.
We do love you.
Prayer request yesterday. Thank you for letting us know so that we have something to pray about. Ricky Sorrell. Who is that?
Don't know. I'm trying to find us on our YouTube. There we are. Boom. Oh. Why is it? Okay. Devise good, do not go astray. That's the word for today.
Yes, in Bible Gateway, which I highly recommend you download and use. They just finished a series on love, 1 Corinthians 13 and 1 John. All right, so I'm going to Acts Media Group on Facebook, and I'm going to bring that up because I already have YouTube up. Now, everybody's still using Facebook.
Yeah, well, there's been more views on YouTube.
There have been.
That's growing.
And I do appreciate that. Thank you very much for that.
So that's what I've got going on my phone here. I have my YouTube channel, and it says there's three of us watching. Johnny Rooster's watching.
Good morning, Johnny Rooster.
Jason B. Cobb. Hi there.
Johnny's pretty cool.
Hey there.
What a cool guy.
Oh, there.
You can find Johnny Rooster at Johnny Rooster Creates. He has a lot of stuff that he's creating. He's building a website. It's new. It's fresh. And doesn't have everything going yet, but you can get on there. You can sign up to be a member on his show. So if you have a business that you'd like to promote, he is a fun guy to go ahead and get on his show with, and he will do what he can to be creative for you and your business and to build something interesting that will get attention.
Yes. So we got a little light coming in.
He's also got this yard cross thing. I don't know how you can find that, but I think you can find it through the Johnny Rooster Creates website. So go there, check it out. He also has what was this other thing he has an adventure on? Johnny Rooster Creates, yard crosses. There was one more thing.
And it's called Cross-Like Courage.
Cross-Like Courage.
And have been since you were young and still loving it. That's what she says. Aunt Patty is watching and have been since you were very young and still loving it.
Love you.
Aunt Patty McCoy in Texas. Did you lose power, Aunt Patty? Mom didn't tell me if you did or not. Johnny Rooster Live says Rooster Creates on Facebook.
Yes, Rooster Creates on Facebook. Check it out.
He's got a lot of cartoons and stuff.
He's a very creative guy. He'll come up with something. And he's always moving, so it's not always going to be just one thing. You can check him out. He's very creative, and if you work with him or if you want some advertising or you want yard cross, you should check him out. He's got a lot going on, and he's a very good, very cool guy. Also, Northwest Baptist Church. If you need a church to go to, check out Northwest Baptist Church. Is that right? Northwest Baptist. Now, NorthwestChurch.church. Northwest Church on Facebook. They just switched over to that, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
So Northwest Church on
NWBCSpringfield.com actually will get you. It's still up and running, but it'll be
come see us. Wayside. We're there. We're there on Sundays. We're busy. Yeah. We're part of the crew. Pastor's been talking about the crew.
I'm preaching a sermon this Sunday.
You are this Sunday.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's entitled "How Do I Find Meaning?"
Pastor Matthew Pearson is going to be preaching at what time?
That 10:45. Well, I'm doing an outdoor service. At 8:30.
We've not talked about that much. At 8:30, there's an outdoor service. You can pull up, tune into
87.9, I think.
87.9 on your FM stations, and you can sit in our parking lot, watch the preacher preach, and listen on the radio, which is a really cool thing. So if you are worried about all the COVID thing, you can still come to our church.
Yeah.
And you can see us in person.
Yeah, absolutely. 10:45 is when the corporate service starts.
Corporate service. 10:45. You can come in. You can shake hands with the people of our church. You can meet the crew, the people who are putting stuff together and making things happen and bringing it to you.
Steve O'Mickey Mack is the new youth pastor there.
New youth pastor.
Children's.
Yep, and he's getting ready to start. So he talked to me yesterday about how he needs some video playing equipment. Because of the series that he's going to be using to teach the children.
Good morning, Larry Melton.
And a TV screen. Larry Melton, hi. There you go.
Aunt Patty said no power for 4 days, no water for 2, and having to boil water when finally got it until yesterday. Not as a waned adventure, or not as a wanted adventure, but as usual, God prevailed. So we're glad you got through it okay, Aunt Patty. I just call her Aunt. Aunt. And then we got that because her husband, her late husband, Cal, Uncle Cal, I would just call him Unc, and he would call me Neff. I mean, that's just how it was. Started that early on in life. He gave me one of my first catcher's mitts for my birthday in a bottle of Aspen cologne. I remember that. Why do I remember that so well? Was it Aspen? I think it was some kind of cologne. I think it was Aspen cologne. I used to, when I was a kid, I used to wear all the, what is that, not Mary Kay, but it's the other stuff. Avon scents, like English leather.
Right.
And things like that, which was really weird smelling stuff. But, hey. So today's topic is devise good, do not go astray. So let's see what that has to say. What do we got?
So it's a proverb. So it's a verse, sort of. It's a bunch of little snippets of wisdom. So really, it's not relatable to verse before and after, though you can relate them because it's all about wisdom.
Do not go astray. Who devise evil? Let's see. Do they not go astray? Who devise evil? But mercy and truth belong to those who devise good.
So what do you suppose that means, and how does that apply to our life? And why would that be something that a writer of the Proverbs would want to give us for wisdom? What would devising evil mean, and how are we as people prone to that a writer of the Word of God, somebody who is writing wisdom for us to learn from, why would they put that down there, do you think? When people are devising evil, how many ways can you devise evil?
Probably quite a few ways.
Well, I've recently been made aware of some things, and this is actually a good scripture to think of, because devising evil can be in a lot of things. One is when you plan something, or when you put something in your heart, like, if I ever see that person again, something bad's going to happen to them. Right? Yeah. Have you ever heard somebody say that? If I ever see them again.
That's devising evil.
So that is actually rooting in your brain the way you are going to act towards another human being. And now there is a scripture that kind of talks about that. He who despises his neighbor sins, but he who has mercy on the poor, happy is he.
Yeah, that's... Hang on a second here.
Now that's a verse, but I think that's actually 2.
That's verse 2?
No, that's 2 verses in 1. So I don't think those are of the same statement, really. Because what does your neighbor have to do with poor? The poor. So don't despise your neighbor. It's a sin.
14:22. That's Proverbs 14:22. Let's go to full chapter. Let's see what you're talking about here. 14:22.
What does it mean to devise?
To devise is to, I guess, to plan, to design, to. All right, so let me see what we got over here. 14:22.
Devise definition. Plan or invent a complex procedure, system, or mechanism by careful thought.
In all labor there is profit, but idle chattel hands leads only to poverty. Verse 24, the crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolish of fools.
Is somebody here?
No. That's my foot. The foolishness of fools is folly. So yeah, this is
to make a careful plan, to devise evil. What can that mean? How would we be?
That's a heavy microphone.
Yeah, how would we be likely to? How would we be compelled in that manner as human beings, in a way that the writer would feel that was a necessary wisdom to share? Because this was read. These are the things that the people of God read, right? For instruction, right. To understand God's will and what God's character is and what he wants us for, what he made us for, and how we can please him, right? So when we devise evil, what does that mean?
Larry says, hold on a second here. All right, so Dustin Varnell, love you, brother. When you get some time, will you call me? That is Dustin from where I used to work. Good morning. Larry cracks me up. I don't hate my neighbor, but his wife is a nut. What's funny is his neighbor's a squirrel, so, you know.
Yeah.
That's
right.
It's that's funny stuff. I'm sorry that but yeah, Dustin, I'll try to get a hold of you sometime. I've been wondering how you've been doing. Larry Milton commented on my video. So yeah, devise a plan.
Yes, a careful thought.
So if you're planning evil, you know, that's a bad thing.
So what is evil? Think about it even in the most minor ways
it's
that we plan
contrary to God
to do evil, right?
contrary to God. That's evil. Because
Well,
God is good.
How about this? Let's try in the more socially acceptable ways, the more common ways. Okay, when I do my budget, right?
Right.
I smoke.
Yeah.
So guess what's in my budget? Cigarettes.
Food. Oh, yeah.
Is that devising evil?
Well, I mean, I
You know
guess
what I mean?
it
How
can be, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're planning to be able to buy cigarettes, I guess you're right.
I don't know. I don't know if it is. Because
let's see. Let's do a definition search on evil.
yeah.
Evil definition. All right, so it's good having all this technology on hand. Evil, profoundly immoral and wicked. Smoking, I don't think, is immoral.
Or wicked.
Or wicked. Profound immorality or wickedness, especially when regarded to a supernatural force. Some synonyms would be wickedness, bad, badness, wrong, wrongdoing, and more.
Yeah.
An antonym is goodness. Wicked, bad, wrong, morally wrong, wrongful, and good and virtuous would be. So I think, wow, there's a lot of synonyms. Immoral, sinful, ungodly, unholy, foul, vile, base, ignoble, dishonorable, corrupt, inquisious, that's a weird word, depraved, degenerate, villainous, nefarious, sinister, vicious, malicious, malevolent, demonic, devilish, diabolic, diabolical, fiendish, dark, black-hearted. It didn't say
But then it
black-lunged.
says those who devise good. Right? What does it say?
It says, but mercy and truth belong to those who devise good.
But now I skipped something and that I thought was important. So do they not go astray who devise evil? So what does that mean by going astray too? Wouldn't that mean that you would be on the right path? So he is talking to the saved.
Yeah.
And to those who might, and that's why I brought up the budget, right? And the things that we have in our budget, because that really does say where our heart is and what our plan is.
Yeah.
It really it's the direction we take. So what about what is this astray thing? How do these things lead us astray?
Well, they take our focus off of God and put it on other things.
And so don't you think it is important that we identify the ways in our life that we are devising evil? Sometimes we just get on this thing where we do stuff,
yeah,
without really recognizing for sure what the depth of it really is in our life. We might. So when we say evil, that'd be to me the definition would be that which is contrary to God's will.
Yeah.
So if I plan to do something that's against God's will, however minor it may be, does it lead me astray? Well, I think it does. And even though it may not lead me completely astray, because I am closer to God in my life than I've been before. There are times in my life when I was very far from God. I'm very far from, His will and communication with Him.
You were bottled deep.
Yeah.
Away.
Yeah.
Which is seemingly never-ending pool of disaster.
And all my thoughts and desires were for it. So my plans and my budget were, I would make room. I would cut from the food budget to buy alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be considered devising evil.
Yes. Yep.
Making a plan for doing evil. Which, I mean, drinking in and of itself is not the sin. Overindulgences.
Overindulgences.
Yeah. Of course, overindulgence of anything is a sin. Really, you could eat too much. That's a sin. Mm-hmm. You could be obsessed with something and make it your god. That makes that a sin.
Yeah.
Now, you may not call it God, but you're putting it above God.
Yeah, because it goes into your plan.
Yeah.
It goes into your life, and that's why I talk about the budget. Are there things that we know in our life that we need, sins in our life, things that are not good, that are evil, that we kind of that we know are evil, that we kind of set a part of our life and involve a part of our life and plan in a way that we allow ourselves to do it, or make that accessible, or make that something we can do. Do we really? I do. I know that I do. So when I think about that, that is devising evil, and those are ways in my life that that lead me astray. That's a little further from God. Say if my mark is to serve and please my God, my Lord, then my eyes should be straight on him. Well, when I make room in my budget for something like cigarettes, I think that makes me a little bit further off the mark, right?
Yeah.
It's pulling me to the side a little. Maybe my eyes are still on the Lord, and maybe my interests in that way are, and I don't mean to be too hard on myself, and I don't want to create a situation where people start to evaluate their life in a way that they become depressed or self-deprecating or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm not saying that. But I do think it's important more often to look within than it is to look without.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of gossip and stuff.
Because you don't have control of other people's within.
Yeah. Like, I could really improve my social life if I would accept gossip as a common mode of communication and a common mode of relating to people.
Right.
Because I could easily take one of my coworkers as an example, go to another coworker with that example that I know about this person, and then talk to them about that in a gossip way, and boom, immediately my social life would change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would have a lot more social life, because the very next thing that would happen within minutes is another coworker would come and start asking me about it. And within minutes of that, there would, even sometimes during the same moment, while the second person comes and is asking about it, a third person comes and joins that conversation, right? So now you have two people, and I've seen this happen and wonder.
Then it becomes a lynch mob, essentially.
Well, but also what it does is not what it does, but what has happened is somehow people have rejected the things that we can relate to one another about, that would lead us closer to God, take us off, put us back on the path. And they've rejected those things as not interesting and not good to talk about, or not easy to talk about, to do something like gossip. Gossip has become such a primary thing that, and I'm guilty of it too. There's times when I do, and I regret it almost immediately because of how quickly it grows and spreads.
Sorry, somebody joined the party that joined our that I've never seen before. Shwile, it looks like.
Good morning.
If you're an actual person and not a bot, good morning.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party. Larry said, I told my neighbor that I love him, and he said, why? I said, because God tells me to. He said,
amen,
that's
brother.
A good
That's
reason.
the right thing to say.
He said, that's a good reason.
Yeah.
And that is a good reason. Not just because God tells us to, but because God loved us first.
Yeah.
He loves us no matter what we do. And you know what hurts him? When we fall, when we fail.
Am I hearing a radio crossover? Oh yeah, it's your earbud.
Sorry, I keep forgetting to turn my volume down.
So it's not always easy to reject those evil, what do they call it? What does he call it here? Devices.
Now you could sit here and so I saw a great illustration, picture, and it was 6 matches lined up on the table, and one match pulled down, and the first 3 in front of it burned up, and the second ones after were still unlit.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you?
Mm-hmm.
It's our responsibility to stop it where we're at. It's just stop with us. So if there's something that is gossip,
you remove yourself.
Remove yourself from it. Refuse to send it on down the line.
Yeah.
And it'll stop from that point in your circle.
Yeah.
It won't come from you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched people talk on the phone for hours. I'm not going to say who, for hours about this person and that person and da 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 da.
Meanwhile, they have drastically, desperately difficult issues in their life that are caused only by themselves.
Yep.
You know what I find interesting too about gossip, and I'm choosing gossip because it's an easy device of evil, devising evil. So when you think about what you're going to say about another person, I find it interesting that in general, the body of the people in general will engage in gossip in such a way. So a person can be a source of gossip, like the best gossiper. People tend to gravitate towards that person, right?
Because they want to hear the latest gossip.
And what happens is they say some things. So here's a strange experience that I have commonly, because I serve so many people at work, and I try to be kind to them all, and I guess I'm not.
That's a good point, Ben.
And
read that here in a second.
It's difficult because my interests aren't really common. So when I talk about my interests, people get uninterested. But sometimes people will suddenly, who were at least cordial and engaging with me and kind, will suddenly have an air of hatred or anger towards me.
Really?
Yeah, like all of a sudden somebody who liked me.
Because other people are gossiping.
Somebody
about
who is
you.
Somebody who is friendly with me. Suddenly, all of a sudden, bam, a big change. They're unfriendly. Not just not friendly with me anymore, but unfriendly.
Right.
Dirty looks, avoiding me. You know what I mean? So this is a strange phenomenon to me because I'm like, why is this person mad at me? I've never done anything to them.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Yeah, so you wonder sometimes what motivates a person and what device of evil do they have in gossip that they would tell somebody something that's not true intentionally to turn someone against someone else.
Yeah. They want to be in agreement against somebody. And I've caught myself doing that too. Well,
here's the phenomenon that I find very odd. Is the person you're talking about is a gossiper, right?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody who's just, the main topic of conversation is everybody else and what's wrong and all the nastiness of a gossip.
Yeah.
They know that, right? They know that this person is it because that's where they're going for their source. Or has it become so common that people aren't really aware of it anymore?
Right.
They're not like, this person has something bad to say about everybody. Am I on that list when I'm not around?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Because what they're doing is they're feeding off of you. They gain your trust, or they engage with you through a friendly gossip. Yeah. But through that engagement, they gain information also about you.
So they can gossip to the others, even to the person they're gossiping about.
Right. And what would turn a gossip against you? Just disagreeing with them.
Yeah.
Or maybe just saying,
stop.
Or just saying, I don't think I want to talk about that because I'm guilty.
Here. Yeah.
Or that person's not
Ben
here.
Wagner says, great stuff this morning. Sorry, I wanted to get to this real quick.
Yeah.
It's easy to gossip, and picking our battles is a lifelong lesson. Quietness and confidence shall be our strength. Mm-hmm. Like it.
So devising good. So how would we combat that, right? How do we devise good? So, right? Oh, no, wait a minute. But he who has mercy on... No, where was I? Okay. But mercy and truth belong to those who devise good. So when we talk about devise, right? It's a careful plan.
Yeah.
That's how devise is defined. Careful planning, right?
Right.
Careful, thoughtful planning. How do you devise good? How do you carefully plan good?
Well, in order to plan, you have to have an intention.
Yeah.
All right,
the
so
good is the intention.
The intent. So if your intention is to cause harm, you're devising evil. If your intention is to cause good, you're devising good. You're devising good. And then mercy and truth will belong to those who devise good.
Mercy and truth, and I need some mercy
and truth,
and I need some truth.
Truth.
But how would you say? Let's go with the same topic that was easy to. How would you devise good in a world of gossip? How would you divide? How would you plan good?
Well, I mean,
in a world of gossip.
Well, first you have to have an intention of good.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure out how you want to do good.
Yeah.
And then when you realize how you want to do good, you put that plan in action. You've devised good. Yeah, that's how you devise good. So, like, let's say you heard through gossip that such and such is getting ready to get kicked out of their house.
Yeah.
Because they spent all their money on this and don't have any rent money.
Yeah.
And you say, I want to help them out. And then you go over and you maybe like hand them gas money or hand them, that's devising good.
Right.
Or you found out about it through the evil, but then you devise good. And but it says mercy and truth belong to those who devise good. Mercy and truth being, to me, mercy and truth is the Father.
True. Yeah.
To me.
Well, because mercy wouldn't be a natural, I don't think, human instinct. Because mercy is not deserved.
Hang on a second. Let me see.
There's a disguised mercy where people do seemingly show mercy, but their expectation.
Congratulations, Nikki. Nikki Skaggs.
Nikki Skaggs
says, "Hey guys, sharing, but I can't stay on here. But I have exciting news from my daughter last night. I am going to be a grandma."
Congratulations, Nikki.
Jackie Melton says, if we want mercy, then we should be giving mercy.
Yes. Now, the expectation, a lot of times I've seen this false mercy, this disguised mercy, though, where people will show what seems to be mercy on somebody, like not give somebody what they deserve, but instead give them what they don't deserve.
Yeah.
But are there strings attached?
Right.
That's a careful thing we need to know, because that makes the definition of the word mercy, when you have an expectation.
That's true, Jackie.
Mercy is not really what you're having. You're having something else, and there is a word for it, right?
Right.
It would be maybe not extortion, not blackmail. What's the word for that when you bribery?
Bribery. Okay, so we talked about this the other day. Dad used to tell me, if someone asks you to borrow $20, if you can't afford to give it to them, don't loan it to them. If you can afford to loan it to them, just give it to them.
Yeah, I've always been taught that too.
Yeah, and I mean, our parents taught us that.
Yeah.
And that's that way you give without expectation of giving back, so there's no strings attached. That's the best kind of giving. If you're giving with strings attached, you're not giving, you're loaning.
Yes.
It's a contract.
Well, Pastor talked about this too. What about your wealth, right? What we call wealth, and I use the term wealth.
He said, God gives, we manage.
God gives, we manage. But what really is wealth, right? When you give somebody something,
in the eye of the beholder,
you're investing in something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like not necessarily with an expectation. But when we talk about a treasure, he talked about the witnesses in heaven. When you go
through that's not gossip.
When you go into the gates of heaven, right?
Yeah.
And you see the people that you've given to, people that you've invested in there, and they welcome you, right? Wasn't he talking about that? So what is our true treasure here on earth? And where should our wealth be invested? When we invest in people for good, when we devise good and invest in people's eternal salvation.
Pastor quoted himself, just so we got it right. I think I was one word off on that. It's his to give, and it's ours to manage.
Yes.
That was... Sorry, I missed a word on that. I apologize, Pastor.
Isn't this cool, though? Devise good. How do we devise good? Well, when you're... That is very relevant. When you look at the people around you, you think of... You should think of them as potentially your treasure, an investment that you can make that can bring a return, that the chorus in heaven will be greater, right? That the voices rising up to glorify this God, this Father of ours who loves us.
That is such a good point, Ben. Hang on, I got to read this. This is a really good comment. He said, Luke 16, that's what Pastor says. Showing ourselves mercy, I believe, is important to be able to give it.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't love ourselves, so it would be very difficult to love. You know, and it's now we should always, in my opinion, as a Christian, we should be at a blessed state of discontent because there's always room for improvement. We're never going to be perfect until we are not in this body anymore.
Yeah.
And on this earth.
But it should come from a place of love.
It should. Absolutely.
And passion.
Dad, okay, so anytime I needed money or anything like that, like gas money or whatever, Dad always gave it with love.
We've got a minute left.
We do. Oh, man.
Devise good. Find a way to make a plan for good
for somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. Because mercy and truth is what's given to you.
And make sure it's coming from the right place.
The dividend.
You know, if you're giving to receive, that's not giving.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard pastors talk about if you give, and I think it's called prosperity. But I've heard pastors before say, if you give $1,000, God will give you back 10.
Yeah. Well, and give to the church is different. Do you really need mercy and truth from the church? You're already getting that. Where would you devise a plan to bring good into something?
Yeah.
Right? The church is full of good. People are good there. They are doing their
good is not.
That's
what
where
you'll
you'll find people at their very best.
Good is at the heart of our actions.
But the devising good should be when you leave the doors of the church. You should say, what did I learn today and how can I go out into the world?
How can I apply it?
Actually make this a real plan to do good in the world.
You know, one thing you could do is you could join a Connect group at Northwest Church.
You could join.
Yeah. And you guys could talk. Go to northwestchurch.church. And, you know, definitely join one of our Connect groups. Jay right now is leading one on Saturday. And it's good. It's about practical application of the scripture that you talk about on Sunday. And it takes it throughout the week. Because church doesn't end on Sunday at noon. Or, in Pastor's case, 12:30.
We are the church.
We are
where
the church.
we go, there the church is.
Right. Now, where we go to the church on Sunday to fellowship and to be led and prepared to further the gospel. To devise good. Right. And so we go there to fill our cup so that we can fill others throughout the week.
Yeah.
You know.
And so we've got to get out of here.
We do have to get out of here. So good conversation, good comments, everybody. We appreciate you guys for talking. Larry says, I love myself. Every morning I say, self, I love you.
We love you too, Larry.
We do. And Jackie and everybody else who commented, Pastor Paul. I'd like to thank you all. And Ben Wagner, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for all you guys do and help us. Be sure and like and share these videos. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us on the Morning Drive today. We'll be back on tomorrow, same time, same channel, so be sure and tune in next for a couple of classic episodes from The Spirit in America, and then some crime time. So until then, my friends, God bless you and keep you. We love you. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
And this has been
The Morning Drive.